getting used to rejection's part of the job, but at a certain point, it starts to feel like you don't know what to do with yourself, and to like take up the space and be available for projects like this for myself, to, you know,
yes.
is like a different part of the journey, to really take that space as like a sacred space.
Yes.
And it is all I want to be doing. Like, opportunities come and go, but it is exactly like what I want to be doing.
Filmmaker Magazine presents Back to One with Peter Rinaldi.
Sunita Mani is an actor. She sat down with me on the Upper West Side of Manhattan to talk about the work.
Do you have a typical way that you like to begin your preparation process when you get a new character?
I think the answer is no. I think process, to me, I get so obsessed with process as something that is over there. It's like a distant thing that I'm trying to like pick apart. So every role feels different in that way. And it is like, I'm learning so much of the process for me is like just clearing out expectations, like clearing out all this stuff that I like hold all the time that doesn't even have to do with the narrative or the character or like the experience I'm about to live. It's sort of like I need to have like an enema.
Yeah.
And I don't get an enema, but like metaphorically, I'm trying to like expunge. I feel like that kind of feels true for every project, but that can look different. Like sometimes it's even, I need to buy a new pair of shoes. Like I'm going to be traveling. Like I need to like walk around. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to buy a new pair of shoes. Like I just sort of inhabit some, not even the character, but some character of myself playing the role of actor playing in a movie. It's all very meta. I feel like I keep it quite meta before I can like get in to the unknown stuff.
Oh, this is interesting. So it's almost like a way station of yourself that's not yourself before the character.
Bro, yeah. That's what it feels like.
I've never heard this before, but it's interesting. You have to almost go there with that. The shoes get you there, kind of.
Almost, right? Exactly.
And then before you can throw on whatever the clothes of the other person.
There's like this transition place that I feel like I have to unplug or disconnect or like whatever, send myself there mentally and physically before I can like dive into the inner world.
Yes, and let's stay with this enema metaphor for a second and apologize to everyone eating and listening. But there is probably, and we've seen them, right? These people who don't do the enema, who have all this pent up stuff in their system.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe that works for the character.
Well, maybe, but sometimes maybe they have to kind of deal with all that because they didn't get it out of their system. And it's getting in the way. If you do the enema, you're
empty vessel.
You're empty. Yes.
For the divine spirit to be the channel.
Yes.
It sort of feels, because it all is so mystical. Like we were talking about, like it's hard to grab onto the thing. Like you're going to be on this like emotional journey. You have the lines, you have a sequence, you have a schedule, but like, there's so much that can happen day to day. Or so you like become attuned to different things too when you're like on set. There's like set brain and you're trying to stay open and sensitive, that it feels like to get to that hyper awareness or something, that supple sensitivity or whatever, I have to like come in feeling like I did my 10 push-ups
Yeah.
I packed light.
Yeah.
And I'm just like ready for whatever happens.
Yeah.
And then there's all like the technical stuff too that you may want to do if you have to like learn a skill or
Right.
you know, look a certain way or whatever. Like you have the kind of obvious technical prep,
Yeah.
but I don't know. That's becoming more the practice or the like sort of the pattern of getting into a project is like trying to like clear it all out. But I used to like, I just had no idea what I was doing all the time. I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And maybe I was coming in with a little too much energy or too much like of that bottled up thing that like I didn't get out on another project or in other relationships or whatever.
Right. Isn't it interesting that you get to a point where you're like, I thought I needed all of this stuff, but I actually need to remove stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting because it is so collaborative, the process, but to understand that you can't control that. And you can't, like, you can contribute, you can collaborate, but like the fact that you just have to come correct and like it is less about the tricks or less about like, I don't know, you have to just show up for yourself in such a real way so you can do the work. That's like, I don't know, is that age, is that experience, I don't know, but it is feeling like that point for me right now where it's kind of like, fuck all y'all. I really have to work on allowing myself this space.
Yes. How did you get interested in this endeavor to begin with?
I came about it through comedy. I think I was always into comedy, like growing up, watching like SNL and just like funny movies and big feelings were always like something it just resonated with so hard. I knew that I was like, I had a lot inside, but it wasn't, it wasn't like, exactly. It wasn't like connecting the dots to actor or even theater or anything. I was more just like performing a lot for my friends or being like a class clown or like doing impressions and doing accents, and I was such a weirdo. The performance of being like weird kid. I think growing up in a small southern rural town and being like one of the only Indian families in town, there was just such a sense of being different. And like that feeling of other there, you know, I just want to put a bunch of stuff on top of that so I can like, you know, fit in or I want people to like me. And comedy was like a big survival tool in that way, which I think, you know, I think a lot of people talk about comedy like that. And the acting thing was just never a viable thing. And it's like I couldn't even dream that. It wasn't for me. I could just like hold on to it inside of like, I love to sing and I love to dance and I love to make people laugh and I can and like connect and be on stage, but that's just like, I guess for me and my little dream box inside. But getting to college after high school in like this small town in Tennessee and I left home, it was like, it took leaving home, I think, to open up to like other possibilities. And other freaks flying their freak flag, you know, like, oh, I'm with a bunch of people who are so supportive of that freak flag and the improv comedy scene and like sketch comedy scene was definitely this like real warm, innocent, collaborative space where I felt like I belonged. And I didn't know that college was going to be that for me. And I didn't know this particular college was even going to be that. I went for like creative writing and literature and publishing, but like ended up doing a lot of performance stuff in like the dance world and the comedy world. And eventually I combined those once I like moved to New York and was trying to pursue comedy a bit more. So I feel so lucky. It totally feels like the right time, right place, like the universe just giving me a push from the shore, like in my little boat, like go ahead and like sail those waters. So that was like a very pivotal, turning point.
Yeah.
Still felt like it was, for me, I couldn't really explain it to people. Improv is like, you can't explain an improv show, or like you can't explain that.
Yeah.
A lot of people do it, but it is this thing that is like insular, and it's only kind of funny because it feels funny. It's very experiential and ephemeral. And again, it felt like I could just like have it as like a little secret identity or superpower or something like that.
Yeah. And then once is this about, see, I can't put sentences together. This is why I can't do this fucking live. Could you imagine
You shouldn't
this?
edit this. This should be all raw.
You want me to put this out?
In raw.
Get the Is this a story about you just following what gives you joy in a way, like improv, and then suddenly realizing like, oh, people are asking me to be in things?
A bit like that. I think I just felt so like repressed and emo growing up. And there's a part of me that is like so sad girl. And then there's a part of me that is truly optimistic, like in order to combat that, you make people laugh. You make yourself laugh. You have lightness. You have like a way out. It was very escapist for me, like comedy and joy, and this a bit in my family dynamic too. That was my role, to be squishy and like have this elasticity a little bit. Like I'll fall down and get back up. I'll fall down on purpose because it makes you laugh, and I'll get back up. Like there's, I didn't mind that status. I think there's like a certain status of a comedian in a certain way. That status was something I felt powerful in, but it was actually quite low status. So I feel like that was a little bit of the trick, where it's like, I don't care what you think. I deeply care what you think of me. That's why I'm doing this. But I can sort of like handle this juggling act in a way of like perceptions and rejections, and also like I'm having a little fun. I'm having fun with this, and I'm finding that lightness and that way out of like this dark feeling that I would sometimes have when I was alone. That's the other thing. It's like I do need people. I love connecting with people, and that was a way to sort of have that. And I do think there was like leaving home, leaving that very specific identity, that like specific sort of different, was always like the plan. I just like knew that I had to leave, like small town girl, big city dreams. Like that was sort of the story for a long time, but I just like didn't know what the dreams were. And it was, that feels like the universe just being like, all right, you're here for it. You're showing up for whatever it is. And it turned out to be like the improv scene, which is, it's just like so funny to talk about. I don't know why I'm like laughing just talking about improv so much. I don't do it anymore. I think that's partly why I'm laughing, that it was like such a big identity. And then I feel like it's just, it has exploded and become a joke of itself. But it always kind of was, but now it's even more just like a joke. But anyway, I guess I got to tread into like that fantasy that I was harboring like inside a little more, and eventually being different caught up with me.
Yeah.
But for a certain minute there, like the early foundation of like, there is an intelligence here that I have that I've been like gathering and developing.
Yeah, cultivating that.
Yeah,
Yes.
in like my own way, and it was just being tapped. And I think feeling smart was a big thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, again, it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Performance, you know, being on stage, this alchemy or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's so not hard math or hard science or hard like expectation. It's like so the opposite direction. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I think there was a lot of pressure of like frameworks in my life and like growing up and like traditional households and just having like a very sort of black and white experience and just having like, I'm not, you know, I'm not you, I'll never be you. I am, you know, there's like, I'm different. There are these like, there was like, that's all too much to make sense of how to exist, especially when you're like young and confused and like, I was very open, but like the world was also telling me to like close things off or compartmentalize things. So I think getting to like tap into like the nonsense that I knew was always there and was always like silly nonsense was like the only thing that made sense.
Yeah.
And that was matched, that was encouraged, that was like built on in a very loving way. My friends at college, who I still keep in touch with and who are still like, they're fucking killing it. I'm so proud. Like
That's
it was
amazing.
just built, it never stopped building. And it's a really delightful thing to see. And then, I think the structures have caught up with me again. And like, still, I know intellectually, like nonsense is the only thing that makes sense, especially now.
Oh yeah.
When everything is so turned upside down in
Right.
this like fast slide into fascism.
Yeah.
It's like, this is all, I've been spinning this wheel for so long, but I don't know. My joints are tired or something. Like I'm less elastic in a way.
Yeah.
And so I'm having trouble trying to like tap into some of that, just like the fun and the nonsense, because I'm so mad and sad.
Yeah, I know. When did you realize, you know, I have a career that's being born here
Yeah.
and I can actually do this as a thing?
Yeah. It's being tested, Peter. I feel like I'm just now kind of thinking in those terms. It's been a product of time. Like it's been a long time at this point. I didn't even, you know, realize. Because you're constantly just, it is about the next thing. It is about the next thing you can present to the world. And with acting jobs, it's a funny timeline. Because like you do the thing, but it takes a year for it to come out or so. And then like, then there's that version of, you know, the story in the world, the version of the character you played in the world. But you're already like, you feel like you've grown from that.
Yes.
It's this weird sort of like ebb and flow of time that's like a little bit funny to think about. So I don't. It's too hard to think about. Don't even think about it. But this idea of like, oh, I have a career. I'm so lucky. It's really like, this whole business is crazy. It's such a tilt-a-whirl, and I feel so lucky that I am called upon, you know, that I'm brought into audition, and I am realizing that I offer something like more unique. I get like, it is something I do a thing, and I'm not even sure what it is, but like, I think, you know, by the nature of the roles I'm being offered, by the nature of like the ensembles that I'm a part of in certain work, it's like, I'm offering something that feels true to me.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a small dose of it.
Right.
And I think that's also because I've said no to a lot of things. I think I have this, well, maybe we can relate. Sometimes I'm a little, my grip on like the integrity of something, like the creative integrity of a project, or if it is like aligning with me in a way that I feel proud of, or like, is this elevating my community? Like I really, sometimes my clutches on that are too strong. But I think it has led me to, take or not take things. Not like there's like a million offers, or a million auditions, but it is like, I think it's been clear to me what kinds of projects that I want to be a part of. I'm not like in it just for exposure, or like just for the name of it.
Yeah. And you probably have no regrets about what you've passed on, have you?
I guess there's always the route of just like, if you got a certain level of like eyes on you, or some like foothold or something, it seems like then you would just get to do more things, your own things, or like, the options just sort of open up.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, oh, should I have just done that like kind of caricature-y Indian stereotype, just so that I would have just been more of a name.
Right.
Maybe I could have had more. Maybe I could have said like, well, I'll do it this way, but not this way. I think there's that agency, or that like,
then you gotta
sense
weigh
of self has grown over time.
Yes. But you almost have to weigh like, what are the benefits of doing a role like that, as opposed to the drawbacks? Like, and if it actually is, if the exposure is actually beneficial to the things you're talking about, like that matter, or if it's actually the other way, where it's actually detrimental because it's shining a light on a character like that's a caricature.
Yeah.
And then you have to you can go nuts thinking about that though all the time, right?
100%. And I think that was I actually got a taste of both of those things in one project. Like when I was doing Glow, which is like the biggest gift in my life. I love that show. I love the creator. I love it so much. But that show was kind of an example of the comment on the detriment of playing offensive, stereotypical characters that are sort of the scariest, worst version of ourselves, while also playing, that was like a wrestling character, but the show also gives you like that wrestling character as a real person, the actor playing the character, and sort of their life lived and the way they're dealing with that construct.
Yeah.
And so that's such a primer. And I feel like the benefits versus drawbacks thing was like art that I made. Those two things weighing against each other got to be in a show, and now that exists as like art that I got to be a part of. But that was also happening inside of me. It was also like, oh, I feel the drawbacks. I see and I feel the benefits, but like the things that it did to me, not just that job, but like it was the drawbacks that have accumulated in life, so it sort of just makes saying no to certain things just clearer to me.
Yes.
Because of like the experience that I've already had. So I guess I'm kind of circling back to maybe I don't regret anything at all, or like not doing those things, because it's just, if I can't do it wholeheartedly, or like wholly, or feel like I can jump into it and really exist and be proud of how I'm existing, then I just know what those drawbacks are going to feel like, I think, because it's happened already,
Doing that many episodes of a show, you before that you hadn't done anything like that, right?
No.
So what was that like for your instrument, to get really pretentious right now?
That was such a unique show. The prep, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the show, we would go to wrestling camp, like wrestling boot camp.
Yeah.
So just like the literal prep of the instrument, of getting to like
Yeah.
put some of these moves in my body, put some of this like larger than life character on its feet, and like learn, talk about status, like learning like where what your power is, like believably to an audience, like to a big arena. Because you as a, let's face it, you are like a petite framed Indian woman, and you have to take down this other woman who's like 2 feet taller than you and like definitely stronger than you.
Yeah.
Like, what is believably your power, which is like, was such an interesting like life question. So I looked forward to many seasons of that show, because the questions like laid out from the beginning of like getting into the show were just like constantly running through those seasons. And I just knew that I would be developing a lot for my character. There's so many characters in the show, and we're not given, it's TV, it moves really fast. We're not necessarily given like a lot of time to touch base with like the writer of that episode or the director of that episode, or, you know, until you're like shooting it. So there was such an inner world for that show that was like, I was thinking about all the time. And I was like listening to playlists and just like being in the world of that show. But yeah, that one in particular, it was so meta. And I felt like I was like playing a younger like version of myself. So I was getting to like bring a little bit of a younger version of myself into the like, integrate it into
That's
my person who I am today, or like, you know, who I was then. Which was nice to like embrace and like hold. I think just trying to be vulnerable for that whole process and true to myself as I could, and just like kind of mentally know that it's not necessarily going to be on camera. You know what I mean? Like you may just get this scene here and there, and like, you know, your arc, but like there was a lot of staying in it for the show and not really getting the, you know, the scene to sort of release it.
But I think it's there. I think it's still there.
That's cool.
I mean, don't you think?
I hope so. Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time.
I believe that when you do that kind of work, even if there's not like an output like you're saying that's direct, it's coming through and it's making us lean in.
Yeah, that is the brilliance of the creators. Like to add that texture. I mean, you're starting already with like a very high-pitched, interesting tension.
Yes.
It's so brilliant. And then just, so you're kind of like living with every character's situation, even when you're not seeing it, I guess. Yeah. So to add, to just like remind people that like this character too is also like going through this by the nature of them being in the scene, you know, just being supporting in the scene. I'm glad to hear that it does come through.
So when you go back and when you do something like that, and then you go and do like an indie film, were you starting to get an idea of like what kind of environment on a set works best for you in terms of like, you know, freedom or time or directorial, you know, relationship?
Totally. Yeah, and that's been really helpful, feeling like I'm learning on set. Like I feel very aware that I didn't come from like an acting background or like training. And I've watched those actors and I'm like, oh my God, that is so cool. I want to do what you're doing, but you know, I'm accessing things differently, but it is, so I'm learning, like my school has been set and projects throughout the years. So I have learned that for me, like a director relationship is super important because I guess I do need that permission to feel like I am free to ask questions or explore or you know, just be. Maybe I don't have to do anything, you know, other than what I'm meant to do in this scene. You know, there's such a spectrum of what you can bring. I've learned that having like a very open, welcoming, collaborative kind of set is super helpful. That's pretty generic, but like, I'm sure that helps everyone. Getting to like talk with the director though always makes me feel like I'm in the show. You know, like, oh, I'm in the world. Yeah. And of course, you know, rehearsals are amazing. You don't always get them, but I love being able to rehearse. I also am just someone who I like the relationships off camera. Like I need those to kind of make it feel real and safe, and like we're kind of in it together. Yeah. And then kind of what happens when we're rolling is what happens when we're rolling. And it's just kind of all the off camera stuff that I'm learning I can ask for or just see what's available so that I can not freak out and not.
And is this with your fellow actors or with everyone on the set?
Feels like primarily the other actors and like people I'll work with closely, like crew too, but that's always like taken care of by production. I feel like getting like some dinners and stuff to just like welcome everyone in, but tends to be people who I'm like going to do a scene with. Yeah.
But it matters, right? I mean,
it matters.
It's almost like you're feeding off of that energy of other people and like using it in the work.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And like, I think there are some people that don't do that though.
Exactly. I've worked on sets where it's very clear that the director cannot be bothered, and that's like for them in their process. But it is like, it starts to make things feel like you have to do something right, or there's a right and a wrong, or there starts to feel like this is a job that has a lot of pressure and expectations all of a sudden. If this isn't like if there aren't open doors, and the communication feels like super hierarchical. It starts, I've worked on sets like that. So I think that, just to be able to say like, wow, it's so nice when you can like have a chat with the director is like.
And why do you think can you make an assumption about why you think that person that we can assume is pretty successful thinks that that's a good way of doing their work?
I think there was a lot of pressure on them. Like there was this sense of, I'm carrying something new, something like they're also someone's giving them a chance. And then it becomes like my project. It just like became very like self-centered. But I kind of get that. Hopefully they grow out of it. I'm sure they will. but that's like a common. It's common. It's common. Thankfully, I've had that experience less than I have had like really positive flowing experiences. But I think it's built to have hierarchy, and like some people need the little to be a little tyrant in order to like make it all work.
Have you ever seen anybody actually thrive in that environment that you are not thriving in?
That's what I felt like the rest of the cast was like. The rest of the cast was thriving and I wasn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, this is just not for me then.
Wow, yeah.
And there's, I felt like, again, is it because I'm not an actor or like, it was like they felt like the actors and I was that
would make you
the
think
shoot,
that,
like
wouldn't
someone let me in the room.
Wow. Maybe they weren't actually having a great time. Maybe they weren't thriving.
Right.
Maybe it seemed like that.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to put this facade up.
Right. That's how they were.
And they were not doing well in it either.
It's very true. It's very true. Very possible. It's so much about like allowing yourself to be, you have to be vulnerable, but also allowing yourself to be like wrong or stupid or humiliated. And like, for me, if I don't acknowledge them right away, then they start to compound. And then maybe I become delusional or like lost in my own cloudy sense of like insecurity.
Yes, but I think that this is common for actors to have this.
Yeah.
And that's why directors have to be super sensitive to the possibility of that.
Yeah.
I think they really have to be, and it should be trained.
Yeah.
It should be trained. It's like I started this conversation about how I was woefully inadequately trained to be a director. Thanks for laughing. And now
it's their fault.
Yes. I am trying to get myself out of this hole now. It's what this podcast is all about. Seriously though, that
where's the script, Peter? Where's the script? I'd like to attach.
Yes, you're attached. I think this is embarrassing that I think the first place I saw you was Save Yourselves.
Oh, cool.
Is that embarrassing?
No.
That's not that early.
Honored. Well, that was like my first lead role in a project.
And what was that like to be leading a film like that?
It was a dream. It was the best possible scenario of like working with dear friends who I loved. Alex Fisher and Eleanor Wilson, who wrote and directed it. Dear friends of mine. John Reynolds.
Yeah.
Dear friend. Love him so much. So it was like kind of the best setting to like...
For your stuff to grow.
Yeah, exactly. And I still panicked, for sure. I remember I cut my hair. Like I have long hair. Yeah. And I had long hair at the time. And I think like 2 weeks before we started, I cut it to my ears.
Oh, that's
and
crazy,
was like,
right?
Now this is the character.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I just did something. That was me buying shoes. I did something that was like, and now I have to deal with this.
Yeah.
And
but it
this
worked,
is
right?
the character.
It worked.
I have no idea. I think it made me feel really ugly.
Wow.
Or like I was just like, what have I done? I took away my security blanket. And so I was like, I think feeling exposed in a very particular way in terms of image. But yeah, that was...
I can't imagine that character with long hair. I can't imagine it.
Summer, it's Sue. That was Sue. Yeah,
yes.
Serena. And they were totally okay with it.
You followed your instinct. You did, yeah. And they were okay with it. So what's?
They were chill. They were like actually really chill about it, and we were also all kind of figuring it out. I think there's just such good humor, such good people, really cared for set, really warm set, but we were also. That was my first feature. That was their first feature. And like John and I were co-leading it. So I think we all felt a little bit of like, a bit of responsibility. And like, we're having fun, but like, don't fuck it up. Yeah. and we were navigating that as like adult professionals while also being like really good friends. So yeah.
So why though does it have an incredible lightness to it that helps the comedy?
Yeah.
Is that the directors?
Yeah. That's like that's the directors. That's definitely me and John wanting to make those characters on the same team. Yeah. I think that the story of like a couple trying to reconnect and find what's working could be really... I mean, there's the route of it being generic of them just like bickering all the time and like nitpicking at each other. And they're kind of doing that. And it's because they know each other so well. Like they need this relationship to transform somehow. Yeah. And us trying to, I think John and I wanting to put them on the same team more than like as adversaries, to play with, like to have a sense of play and that we could keep it going versus things getting sort of
Yeah.
stuck or mired in like what's not working about the relationship.
Yes.
It's kind of obvious what's not working,
Yeah.
but there's such different perspectives on the world, like how they see the world.
Yeah. But you hit the frequency, then everything else just worked because you hit that frequency.
Yeah,
Right?
that was, and that was like definitely like tuning and with the directors.
Yeah.
And you know, we did a lot of different versions of it too. And being directed by two directors, it would often, I feel like I would get, they would both direct us, but like Eleanor would come in with like more of the acting notes, I feel. At times, or they would like take turns doing it, but you know, being pushed in like, both John and I are comedians known for like doing absurd comedy, but like my character was more of like the straight man, or not necessarily, you know, the straight man, or like this is not a comedy for you in a way. This is like we need to see this dynamic where like maybe you don't get to be the goofy one this time. I was like, damn it, but also that makes sense.
Right.
We're finding something different with her, and like it's okay that you're not on the same team all the time, and that this is like maybe two different versions of the movie you're playing, but like when it comes together, it's you know, it is what it is.
That's also about just realizing like, okay, this serves the story.
Yeah.
And then you could have fun in that because you're serving it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
which
then-
was fun to find eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's a list of things. We're just jumping right to this. This is insane. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
His and Her, Death of a Unicorn, The Wild, A Nice Indian Boy, Government Cheese, The Roses. This is a list of all projects just this year, right?
That's crazy.
Isn't this insane?
Yeah.
How did this happen? Was this just an
wild.
explosion of people being like, gotta put this woman in all this stuff?
I don't know. It has been like, I have been working towards this. Like I'm trying. I'm someone who puts a lot of effort into like being available for like the right project, because as we were talking about this like alignment of integrity and like staying true to oneself and true to myself so that I can like actually show up for the thing.
Yeah.
I guess the timing sort of just worked out that way. Auditioning a lot, putting myself on tape a lot. Like,
And have you
really-
hit the sweet spot with that?
I think there is something that has like switched in my brain that's like, if you aren't having fun and if you are not the most you in the version of your self-tape, then like, what are you doing? Like, you don't want the job. You know, you can't get the job.
That's huge. Rewind, listen to that again. Just hit 15 seconds back. 15 seconds. Listen to that again. Come back. Okay, now we're back. That's huge.
Say it again.
No, wait, no, they heard it again.
They heard it again. Oh, you're live editing.
I'm telling them to listen back on what you just said. No, because
Listeners.
that you just said, if you're not the biggest
too.
version of yourself, but you're talking about yourself, like that's the secret right there. People think they have to be somebody else in a way.
Yeah, well, they told me I need to be someone else too. You know,
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
like
Yeah.
I feel like I've been trying to be someone else for so long, and there's just a different view of the world when you are just coming from like who you are, who like what you want to put into the world, and like putting your own texture or spin on something. And it's like, but this is why I would make it better, or this is why I would make it good, or like this is how I would interpret it. And you by nature are already like diversifying yourself from like the pool.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always work. I just feel like a lot of these things that came out this year were like sort of from that planted seed of like, you have to do this in the version of you that's going to work sustainably for the rest of this project. Even like, what are you digging into? What's exciting about it? And again, those are kind of like principle basic questions, but it's so easy to get caught up in like, I just want to do a good job, or I just want to be presentable, or this character seems like they have to be hot. I think I just want to present as hot. Like, and that's like, sometimes it is surface. Sometimes it is just about the way you look, even though it's all, you know, it can be deeper, but sometimes you just give off a certain thing. And so you kind of have to embrace that you can't really control what you give off. You can just sort of be the thing that you want to be. And I feel like a lot of those movies from that list are like, they're long-standing relationships I've had with people. And like, these things have been planted for so long. I'm not like, it's hard for me to just like cold go in and like have a read or an audition and be considered. Like, I think it's so hard to like make it, you know, it is. I don't have that footing of status, but I've been like maybe caring too much about the work that I put out there, that it is sort of, you know, fruiting in some ways.
The fruit is ripening all over. It's being taken off the vines. Now. Yeah. And you're kind of, all of a sudden you got a basket with a list of things.
It's a nice basket.
Right?
Yeah. It is like fruits of labor. Yeah. And I am proud to like have such a variety of things.
Yes.
I'm definitely like, you know, hungry for more.
Yeah.
And want to like be more of myself in things. It's hard. Those opportunities aren't, you know, flying off the shelves.
Right.
For anyone.
Right.
But I still desire to like be more dimensional and like really sink into, you know, a story or a character.
When you're imagining that, what do you, like, are you imagining an actual kind of character that you haven't been able to play yet, that you haven't been able to show that you can do?
I feel like I'm currently picking up the pieces of my imagination, because I was like developing a show for a long time. I was like writing a show and like working on pilot, and it's all good, but that has like sort of officially like dissolved. And there was so much of my like imagination into playing a character, very personal to me and like a version of myself. So I guess that was in the imagination of like really being who I am, you know, like trying to tap into this, like this person who, small town girl from the South, who's like, you know, there's a fluidity and that comes with that. And like this chameleon like nature that comes with that. But also this like desire to be seen, you know, they're almost contradictory.
Right.
And wanting to put all of that like on a stage. Not a metaphor, you know, sure, a metaphorical stage, but like on a literal stage somehow in like a theatrical way.
Yeah.
In storytelling. Having the lights, having the song and dance, having the like costumes. So it's like, I was like having this accordion of like big and small, like how to think big, how to think small, and like get to the real truth of like what I'm talking about, you know? And that's been a long time, and kind of like, I'm just a little bit exhausted by having to do the work to present, you know, like, because the opportunities aren't coming, but I'm still going to do the work. I just feel like my imagination is a little bit, it's on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm like building it back up.
But you could build it back up because I want that. I want that.
Yeah, because maybe it's none of that, and maybe it's just like just back into the joy of like absurdity and
Right.
bigness and nonsense. So I'm in a little bit of a, I don't know what to do with myself right now. And
Well, maybe that's not so bad, right?
yeah,
It's not so bad.
it's not. And I'm actually gonna shoot this feature next week, starting next week. That's like a very quiet, reflective story about a woman, you know, dealing with a lot of what we're talking about. Sense of self, being like a chameleon in the world, while also dealing with the grief. So it's not a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of time spent with a character that I'll be playing it like in private moments with a lot of like internal waterfalling happening, you know?
And how does that feel for you?
I'm stoked because it's so unexpected. I love that it's not, you know, it's like a more serious role and a reflective role.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked to like, I didn't have to write it.
Yeah.
Someone is like this writer director who is half Indian, half Filipino, and there's like a lot of related experiences we have like going through the world, and so I'm just like, I just think it's like a beautiful meditative movie.
That's great.
That I get to like inhabit the world that's like it's already someone else's, you know, written
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
These are
yeah.
things that I'm like also trying to talk about and write about, but like, you know,
That's perfect.
I had to put mine away for a sec.
We're catching you 1 week before that.
Yeah.
Are you you feel like you're ready right now?
I'm like freaking out a little bit. But
Yeah. That's good.
I think
Freaking
it's
out's
good.
great.
I think it's good.
Right?
I'm in the like costume fitting process. I'm
Yeah.
in the, so like the clearing out thing that I was
going to
talking
say, have
about.
the shoes been bought metaphorically, or
They have not been bought yet. That's tomorrow.
okay?
I leave Saturday. I leave
Okay.
real soon, and tomorrow I'm gonna do my little like checklist of things I will buy for myself.
Yeah.
to like, you know.
If someone were to run into you tomorrow that knows you, would they recognize you?
It's a great question. I hope not. It'd be
Right.
just
Wouldn't
like
that be great? You'd be
just
like,
like
"It's
a
working."
blur. It's
Yeah.
working. Yeah, that I hope that happens.
Yeah.
Who is that? They won't even be sure if it's like me or not.
Yeah. With something like this, when you're excited about it.
Yeah.
This is the dream,
It's
right?
church.
Yeah, church.
And I get to be a devotee. Yeah. As like to just be an actor and just like wash myself in the set, in the setting, and
Yes.
sort of take it as it comes and like give is so exciting. It is the dream. And the fact that it is a very personal story to her and you know, to me too, because there's like so much internal questioning happening in the movie. It is like a miracle that a small story gets this much, you know, love and care and spotlight from everyone. Everyone really wants to make this indie. Do you know what I mean?
Great.
Like
yeah.
it feels really nurtured and it's happening really like fast. But I think that's even cooler that it's not this like long drawn out thing. We're making the thing. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm really excited. It is so cleansing and palate cleansing from all the like big shiny stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is big in its own way. For me, it's going to be new underwear. I have to buy new underwear.
So it's underwear. Okay. This one's underwear.
This one's underwear.
Okay. Okay. And no one knows. Like they can't see the underwear. I mean,
No,
most
exactly.
people-
And this is
Yeah.
not just because I need underwear in my life.
Well,
I just
it
want to make
probably
that
is.
clear. And
No,
it's
it is.
also that. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing I need new underwear, but it's going to be very different for me when I buy it because I'm me, and I will
Right,
not
I'm going
be
to buy
any-
this with ceremony, Peter. I'm
Yes,
going to like
yes, and will
pilgrimage to Bloomingdale's.
it be something that you've never bought, like a type of underwear that you've never bought? We don't have to get
We'll
specific.
see what happens.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin this, but I'm just trying to imagine, like, are you really going to feel different?
I do.
Yeah,
I know
'Cause that's
I will.
part of it, right?
Yeah.
major part of it. The shoes
major part
feel
of it.
different, and this will feel different.
Yeah. And that it's like visceral. It's like on my body in
Yeah.
that way. Yeah. So listeners, imagine that.
I was just going to say, so when we're watching this movie, we will be imagining this. You're okay with that?
I'm doing I'm going to get tooth gems for this role and the high thong, that's going to be revealed in every costume, in the costume, you will see the straps of my
Interesting.
awesome thong.
Interesting. And this is all, this is part of it. Does the costume designer know this? That's fine if they don't. They will learn this.
I'm turning into a wild card on this set.
Yes.
Surprises.
Yes. But this is all we want as an audience. We want people like you that we like to be able to do something like this that's a little scary, that's a little new, and you're flapping wings that you don't normally flap, and this is what we want.
Thank you, Peter, because I also think it's what you want.
Yes.
And there's so much in the world that tells me not to do that. And it is accumulative. It's weird, getting used to rejection is part of the job, but at a certain point, it starts to feel like you don't know what to do with yourself. And not just in our industry, but the world at large,
Yes.
There's such systems of oppression all the time. I do feel you want me to be ready to take up this space because we don't want to hear from these assholes.
That's right.
We don't want to hear from them.
That's right.
We want them to go away.
Yes.
And to take up the space and be available for projects like this for myself to,
Yes.
is a different part of the journey. We were talking about earlier, to really kind of take that space as a sacred space.
Yes.
And it is all I want to be doing. Opportunities come and go, but it is exactly what I want to be doing.
Yes. Sunita Mani, thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks for having me.
Back to One is a production of Filmmaker Magazine, which is a publication of The Gotham. Listen to back episodes of this podcast at filmmakermagazine.com or wherever you get your podcasts.